Back and we are live. Hello, hello. It is Wednesday, January 22nd. My name is Anthony Pica, and this is a VO's Journey. This show is all about helping the new and upcoming voiceover artists grow their business and sidestep all of the crazy things that I seem to step on. So I'm excited about today's show. I've named it One Sample Away from voiceover heaven. And you might be like, what in the world are you talking about? Well, I'm going to tell you. But first, before I dive into that, I just want to do some housekeeping things first. I want to thank everybody for their incredible support on these shows and on this channel and multiple channels we have on Twitter and YouTube and Facebook as well as Instagram. I just want to thank everybody. Also, I've come up with from suggestions and things. We're starting to kind of come up with days of the week that we're talking about certain topics. So Monday, I have named Marketing Monday. So Mondays we'll be working on marketing and we'll be talking about marketing your business. Tuesdays, of course, we did Tech Tuesday yesterday, and that was a huge success, and that's already gotten loads of views, so I'm very pleased with that. We're also, now Wednesday, I think Wednesday is going to be kind of like a whatever Wednesday, whacked out Wednesday, something to where we can keep that free and open. And by the way, if you have questions, I love I would love to answer, specific questions that you have on Wednesdays. I think that would be great. And of course, as you know, we have ACX Thursdays and Fiverr Fridays. And so far, those are all going really, really, really well. So I'm very pleased with that. And thank you guys too, from the bottom of my heart. I love connecting with everybody. So anyways, let's go ahead and move on. Real quick, by the way, also make sure you like, share, follow me on YouTube, like these videos, retweet them, do all that you can do to get other people to see it so we can grow. We're growing super fast, and I'd love to keep up the pace. So today I want to talk about something that is, I think, a secret to loads of success, and it's not easy, but it is so beneficial if you can, when you join that group, you have to answer some questions. I ask just a couple questions about like how long you've been in the voiceover business, or how long, and then do you have any questions, or what is your big question, that you have that you'd like to be answered about voiceover. So I would say 90% of all of the questions I get are simply, how do I get more business, or how do I get business? How do I get clients? That is the single biggest question that I get asked all the time. And then, of course, it would be, what do I need to do in order to get clients or get in front of more clients? So, I named this show One Sample Away from Voiceover Heaven today because I want to start to frame your thought process around this idea of, getting yourself out there in front of people to be able, for them to hear you. And we can do that today. The very best way we can do that today is by creating samples. All right. So let me give you an idea of what this works out. Oh, Wisdom Wednesday. I like that. That's a good one. Good deal, Ben. Wisdom Wednesday. So anyways, with the samples idea, so you might be thinking, okay, there's so many different things, and we're going to do Marketing Monday, but there's so many different things that you can do to get work, right? And for all of us, one way that works for me might not work that way for you, et cetera, et cetera. But in the end, the one thing that we're all trying to do, okay, to get that business is we have to get in front of people. We have to get seen. We have to get heard. We have to have people viewing our content. And by the way, content is a loose word. Like when I say, are you creating content? People think content is simply like making posts or doing something about, like you being pithy or something. I'm more talking about creating content like even samples of your work. So you doing a, 15-second commercial. Okay, that's a sample, but that also is a piece of content that if you put it out there in the world, you have an opportunity for someone to hear it right? And then want to contact you. This is so important, especially for people just starting out or people trying to get, some traction. Most of the times you're not creating enough content to put out there for people to hear you. And again, I'm using the word content in this situation as meaning samples of voiceover work. If you are brand new, this is wonderful for you because A, you're not really doing any voiceover work right now. You're just trying to figure this whole thing out. So it forces you to make samples. You need to find scripts. You need to write them. You need to record them. You need to practice adding music to the background and putting out samples. I'm not talking about creating your entire demo. I'm talking about getting used to putting out samples in different places. A lot of the websites today as well that we sign up for, right, they want samples of your work. They don't directly say you have to upload a demo. Sites like Voquent, which, by the way, on a side note, I am so impressed with the new platform and the upgrades that Voquent has recently come out with. It's pretty incredible. They're probably one of the first sites I've ever seen to add a worldwide union finder to their site. And basically you go on there and the entire map, they have a map of the world and it has unions, locations all over the world, and you can actually click on them and see where they are and so forth. It's pretty amazing. As well as options to put up pictures and information about your studio, more sample options. They've really done some amazing stuff. So if you are not on Voquent, it's VOQUENT, www.voquent.com. It's a wonderful site. It is a UK-based site, and they're just doing some really impressive things. So be a good place for you to hop over there and check out. Voquent has this platform that is all based around samples. People per hour, Voiver, these places you can upload demos, but you can also upload samples. And let's face it, voices.com, Voice123, these places, they are based on you uploading samples. The more samples you upload to these sites, the better. Fiverr, all right? No one says that you have to have your full demo on Fiverr. In fact, it's better that you tailor each one of your gigs specifically to e-learning or podcast intro and outro, so that you put a couple of samples together. Now, when you put samples together, does that inherently mean demo? Sure. Okay. And in that particular case, you want to fill up on Fiverr, because we're talking about Fiverr specifically right now, that space. But, everywhere else, you can build samples out, 15, 30-second spots, fully produce them. Sure, you can leave some blank, but put some music behind it. And this does a bunch of things. One, you keep creating, here we go. So let's say that you're trying to figure out, all right, man, how do I get started in this whole thing? How do I get business? Or, I really want to up my game for 2020. What do I need to do? Well, the reality is, in your mind, the one thing that you should always be thinking about, and I say this from the bottom of my heart, from today in 2020, this year, and moving forward, our number one goal as business people and online businesses is to get in front of people, is to get our work in front of people's eyeballs and then their ears, right? But they've got to see us. We've got to get in front of them. It's our reach. How many people see your demo and then listen to it, right? I say listen to it, all right? But how many people listen to your stuff? How many people see your name popping up and the word voiceover next to it? Is anyone? Are anyone listening to any of your stuff or noticing you at all? Okay, that is your number one job. And a great way to do that is by creating content in the form of samples of your work. And again, if you're not doing any work and you don't have permission to use some of that work, you've got to create your own. You have to create your own. One person that I followed for a long time, and he's had incredible success at this. And what's really interesting is that he probably is one of the only people I've seen do this. And I myself haven't even done it like he did. But Trailer Brent. I don't know if you know. I interviewed Brent Allen Hagel a long time ago for my podcast, and he basically a trailer voice actor and opened his own studio or his own like agency where he now represents a lot of voice actors around the world who do voiceover trailers. And he basically built the back of that entire business on doing sample recordings on Instagram. It was incredible. All right. And he did them so well. So basically what you do, and by the way, you only get a minute. Now, since I'm live on Instagram, I'm live on the as a Duke fan. I am a Duke fan, and you're a UNC fan. That's okay. I'm not gonna hold that against you. But anyways, he would take 1 minute and put together the very best sample of a trailer that he could. And he would show himself doing it. And then he would show like a picture of his screen of you listening to it, as well as seeing like, all the different things in Pro Tools or whatever he was using for his DAW. And it was really impressive. Now, all of this stuff was so good, you thought this was actually work. For the longest time, I thought it was work that he was actually doing. But in the end, it was samples. It was work that he was writing himself, making up. He would use real video, as a sample through these things, but it was all his music, all his voiceover stuff that he did. And he did it religiously every single day. It was amazing. And he built an entire following and business on the back of that, getting that out there. And, when I interviewed him, by the way, the podcast of VO's Journey podcast, you can go back and listen to that. I'm not sure what episode it was, but it was in the 60s or 70s. Don't quote me on that. 60s or 70s. I'm not sure which one it is. But anyways, the point I'm trying to make is like, he talks about how, he was contacted by many businesses and stuff from those, from those samples. Okay. And, it's amazing nowadays too, how many sites want you to put up samples. And funny thing, like Voice Bunny as well. I mean, they're constantly, right, asking for more samples. Everyone wants you to put up more samples because they want more variety. But the big thing for us is the more that we put up, the more opportunity you have to get yourself out there. So I've talked about putting up samples on websites that are casting sites, or different sites that we can join, whether they're pay to play or free. Okay. But also social media. Putting up things like I just talked about, Instagram or Twitter. If you are like a person who's like, man, I know I need to get on social media, but I just don't know what content to put on. This is great content for you to put on. You should be trying to put on samples of your work. All right. Now you might be like, okay, well, I don't want to do a video because the place like I'm in, the hobo fort and it looks awful. All right. Just get over it. Get over it. Seriously. All right. Or use some thoughts behind it and put together a way for you to do a sample of your work with a headshot of yourself. If you're that concerned with the video, figure out a solution. All right. Make a video a different way. Don't have the video of where you're recording. All right. Have a picture like your headshot with, what would be really great? A picture of your headshot with your name and contact information, and then your video, and then the voice behind it. Imagine if you were putting out 2 or 3 of those every day on each platform, and then having links in your specific profiles going to your website or whatever platform you wanted them to go to in order to contact you to work for them, right? I mean, you're going to build up such a base or such a portfolio of sample work, right? That the breadth of work you have is going to be incredible. And on top of that, you should keep that sample work too on your website. You should keep it somewhere where you can upload it. Like not just, okay, so if you, let's say today you're like, okay, I'm going to create 2 samples today. And again, a sample in my mind is between 15 seconds to 45 seconds of a voiceover that you have made up on your own. Okay, you wrote the script, you recorded. All right, you can put you don't have to put music in the background. You don't have to, but you can put music, and I recommend you starting to get used to trying to put music behind some of your stuff as well. Okay, but this is a way for you to make 2 samples a day. You upload them to every website that you are on, whether you're on voices.com, whether you're on Voice123, whether you are uploading them on Voices Bunny, whether you're putting them on different, whatever places you're putting them on, all the websites, Voiver, People Per Hour, all these different places, right? You can put them there. Then on top of that, you simultaneously upload them to all the social media sites, one in the morning and one in the afternoon. And you continue to do that. And on top of that, for the social media sites, find tags in specific industries that you're doing a sample. You talk about something cool to do, right? So let's say this week I want to target the real estate industry. So what I do is all the samples this week I make are real estate related samples, voiceovers. Then I find the tags and stuff, and I put those tags on those, and I start uploading them to those places. We've got to get creative ways to get in front of people. Okay, you have to. And by the way, this is one piece of building your reputation, building your brand, building who you are online. You're never going to get the business, the stability you want until you find a way, right, to build this brand of who you are online. You're not going to. The world works online now. We know this. And if you're struggling with that, please, I'm telling you right now, that's the way the world works. And it's going to continuously become more and more about how many people can you reach with the content you create. Because people don't want anymore to be, knock on their door and for you to come in their face and sell something to them. We don't want that anymore. We are bombarded by so much stuff. And talk about scams, which we've talked about scams on this channel, right? It's so difficult to get past all of that stuff. I mean, I have so many people who message me about at marketing my podcast or doing all this stuff on LinkedIn. And my first thought of all of it now is like, scam, or you didn't even ask me what my name was. You didn't even ask me to dinner. You're already asking me to buy something. You didn't even buy me pizza. All right. And I'm going to buy something from you. Right. So you have to take in consideration, if you're not going to like that, your customer is not going to like it either. So the best way to get people to trust you enough to take that message is to do what I'm talking about here, is to consistently, regularly put out samples of what work you do on specific platforms and upload them to websites, and you just keep doing it. Imagine if you set a goal to upload 2 to 3 samples every single day of the year to all those websites that you can upload samples to. Okay, pick 5 to 10. All right, and you upload 2 to 3 samples every single day for 365 days this year. And then you upload 2 to 3 samples every single day for 365 days this year to all of those, to LinkedIn, to Instagram, to Twitter, to Facebook. All right, and TikTok. Honestly, you need to be uploading to TikTok, because if you don't know it by now, if you haven't seen it, like all people our age and older are all getting on TikTok too, because they're like, oh, TikTok, because we are not ignorant anymore to technology and being able to use cell phones. So we can get on these platforms just as easy as younger kids can. And we are on those platforms, which means that our customers are on those platforms and they will see us. You have to build trust, and you build trust through being relatable and through being seen on a regular basis, right? And that's how we build trust nowadays. Familiarity. Because we don't trust anybody we don't know. Okay? I mean, that's like the oldest thing in life. You don't trust strangers. Okay, so you've got to find a way to make yourself less like that. And the way to do that is by consistently posting on these sites and on social media. And a great way to create content that all of us can create no matter what are samples of voiceover work. And if you are one of those people who are like, man, but I don't even know, how do I write a script? Then that is definitely something you need to work on figuring out. How do I make a 15-second voiceover with music in the background? That is something you need to figure out. You need to work on that. If you have a DAW, you have a microphone, you can do that. You can find, there's plenty of places online for free music. It doesn't have to be the greatest thing since sliced bread to start, but you want to make them, it's like staging a house, right? You want to make it the very best looking, or in this case, you want it to be sounding the very best it can be in order to sell it. Okay? But here's the thing. Most of us won't do this. Most of us won't consistently upload samples. Most of us won't put them on websites. Most of us won't do the work, so you'll never know if it works. But the people who do it consistently, day in and day out, just imagine what you would build. All right? Imagine you, like I said, 2 to 3. Imagine if you put 2 samples up, that's 730 samples all over the place. You know what I mean? Over a year. That's incredible. See, so to me, this is the switch. And then if you have any questions or anything, please go ahead and feel free to ask. To me, it's a shift, right? From direct marketing to brand marketing, or direct advertising, direct selling to brand selling, right? Brand advertising. Meaning that the whole point now is not for you to, find that diamond in the rough and then try to sell the crap out of them, but instead is to get in front of as many people as you can and let them decide. Because if people like you and they need you, they will find you. But if they can't find you, then they never will, right? If they can't find you, they'll never be able to order something from you. So the only way they're going to find you is if you are putting out samples of your work consistently. Now, if you want to take that one step further, which we're not going to talk about today, but then you start putting out other types of work to even build more. You even build more of a brand and so forth. Now, listen, there's going to be tons of people that you're going to see here in this industry that say, you don't need to do that crap. I built a business without doing it. It's full of baloney. You can use there's a union, you can use agencies and all this stuff. And you know what? That's great. That is wonderful. All right. Those things work to a point. And they used to really work. They don't work as well as they used to. All right. And what I mean by that is they don't work as well for all of us. I wanted to create a business that was solely reliant on me so that I decided what I would do. Now, don't get me wrong. I didn't say that those things don't work, because they clearly work for a lot of people, but not for everyone. And not if you don't want to follow a specific set of rules. Right? And that's important. I would rather build my brand, because by doing that, you guys, you don't have to worry about the ups and the downs. You don't have to worry about a site closing down. You don't have to worry about, all your business on one platform and it goes away. I have built my business. For starters, it was on ACX. Then I built it on Fiverr, and I make a lot of money on Fiverr. But if Fiverr went away tomorrow, I'd be fine, because I've built enough business other places in order to make sure that would never happen. And a great way to build your business is your brand and your name. And you can do that by creating this content.